July 2011, after 3 years of intense media coverage and a super publicized trial, the world watched in disgust as Casey Anthony was acquitted of murdering her 2-year-old daughter, Kaylee. Now, almost exactly 10 years since the shocking end to the so-called social media trial of the century, where did the most hated woman in the world end up? Hey everyone, welcome back to SOTD. I'm Rachel, and today we're following up on the main participants in the Casey Anthony case. Her lawyer, her parents, and of course Casey herself were at the center of a media circus for nearly 3 years, and although the trial ended, their stories did not. So where are they now? Let's find out. Jose Baez had practiced law for years before Casey Anthony came along, but there's no question that he gained relevance through her trial and that it boosted his career. Even before 2008, Baez was known by the local community for his theatrical behavior and outlandish strategies in court, and for defending some pretty despicable clients. One of those clients was a man that he defended who was accused of killing his girlfriend's 2-year-old child, and his strategy in that case was to accuse the child's mother even though there was no evidence that she was involved in any way. When the jury saw an interrogation video of the defendant praising the woman's mothering skills, the accusation fell flat and the defendant was convicted and sentenced to 15 years. Baez followed a similar strategy in the Casey Anthony trial. He accused someone related to the victim of being guilty without any evidence. And in this trial, he also accused that person, Casey's dad, of sexual abuse. This time, the jury didn't see through Baez's courtroom theatrics, and Casey Anthony walked away, free to live her life. And while most of the public and media reacted to the verdict with disgust, Jose Baez became famous for being a lawyer who could win any case. This attracted wealthy clients with serious legal problems, including former NFL quarterback Aaron Hernandez and Hollywood elite Harvey Weinstein. Baez won an acquittal for Hernandez in 2017, but the lawyer removed himself from the Weinstein case only a few months before the trial was set to begin in 2019. Today, Jose Baez is still practicing his reckless style of law in his home state of Florida. As of May 6th of 2021, he's being sued by Harvey Weinstein for breach of contract to the tune of $1 million. To this day, George and Cindy Anthony are still married and even live in the same home they lived in with their daughter and granddaughter. The house was almost foreclosed on in 2019 due to 10 years of no payments, but they managed to settle and keep it. It's honestly pretty incredible that they are even together at this point, especially considering that they don't really agree on the details of the case. Cindy has said in interviews that she believes that what happened to Kaylee was an accident and that Casey simply freaked out, but George doesn't agree with that. Cindy Anthony has maintained somewhat of a relationship with her daughter over the phone, but George hasn't even wanted that. And keeping in mind the outrageous allegations made against him in court, it's no surprise that he hasn't wanted anything to do with his daughter for years. Even though the media kind of slowed down on them, George and Cindy have still done plenty of interviews in the past 10 years, mostly with Dr. Oz for some reason. In 2018, George told Dr. Oz that his daughter, quote, doesn't need to exist anymore as far as I'm concerned. Which might sound kind of extreme for the typical father-daughter relationship, but I think it's fair to say this one is definitely standalone. George's feelings about Casey have definitely softened over the years though, and he has even gone so far as to say that he has forgiven her and wants to have a relationship with her again. He was actually in a pretty serious car wreck in 2019 that almost killed him, and he was super happy to report to Dr. Oz that Casey had reached out to him at that time. So maybe they will reconcile in time and forgive. But with all that's happened between them, I wouldn't blame him if he couldn't. Since her acquittal in 2011, Casey Anthony has resumed her life in Florida. In 2018, she moved in with one of the private investigators from her case and has since started a private investigation company with him. The whole thing seems pretty ridiculous to me, especially the business aspect. I mean, who on earth would want to hire Casey Anthony for anything? Apparently not too many people, because this is her second business idea that has not taken off. She started a photography company back in 2018, but unsurprisingly, people don't want Casey Anthony taking their wedding and family pictures. She was most recently back in the news for a bar fight just a few weeks ago, proving once again that trashy is as trashy does. Anthony told the officer on scene that the dispute was between her and another woman over an ex-boyfriend that both women had dated at the same time. But the woman who actually threw her drink at Anthony told the media that the fight had nothing to do with the ex, and that she didn't want to discuss what really happened. For real though, whatever the reason was, I'm sure it was a good one. Casey Anthony was considered the most hated woman in the world during her trial, and the hate only intensified when she was acquitted. And the idea that she could want any more kids in her life brought on even more hate. Back in 2017, she actually told the media that she did not want any more kids. Quote, "If I am blessed enough to have another child, If I'd be dumb enough to bring another kid into this world knowing that there would be a potential that some snot-nosed little kid would then say something mean to my kid, I don't think I could live with that. So she's worried about having kids because other kids might be mean to them. She was literally partying while her toddler was missing and didn't report it for a month, but she's worried about bullying? Well, apparently she got over that fear, because in 2019, she was telling friends that she can feel her biological clock ticking and that she wants to find meaning in life.
My biological clock is ticking like this, and the way this case is going, I ain't never getting married.
According to one friend in particular, quote, marriage, family, the white picket fence, in some ways that's very appealing to Casey, and that she likes the idea of stability. And while that sounds nice coming from virtually anyone else in the world, coming from Casey Anthony, it's just disturbing. At least 4 jurors have spoken out over the years, but the others have understandably distanced themselves from the whole situation. Even one of the jurors who did agree to be interviewed has said, quote, I hated being on that jury, I wish I hadn't been. And you really can't blame her. Another juror has said that the whole jury were, quote, sick to their stomachs over the verdict, and another 2 jurors have actually expressed regret over their decision. Despite literally feeling sick over it, though, even now, all of the jurors who have discussed the case seem to have come to the same conclusion, that even though Casey Anthony is a horrible person, it's not illegal to be a horrible person, and the prosecution didn't gather enough evidence to prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt. One of the jurors even told the media if he could do it over again, that he would stand by a conviction this time, but only for a lesser charge like manslaughter, not the first-degree murder charge that she was given to begin with. At least one juror has said that he believes George Anthony was involved, even though the allegations made against him were never proven or even mentioned again after the opening statement. Now, I'm definitely not any kind of legal expert, but I don't think you really have to be to say that this highlights a big problem. The outcome of a trial is not about the truth. It's about who can weave a better, more sensational story. This is honestly the same thing that happened in the OG trial of the century against O.J. Simpson, but there's a lot more at play in that case, so if you'd like another video about that or even a series, let me know down below and I got you. Some cases are just too terrible to forget, and this is definitely one of them. The loss of a child is tragic enough, but the closeness that the public felt to this case and the unexpected verdict make this one completely unforgettable. Were you watching when the verdict was announced? Leave a comment below and let us know where you were and what you thought. If you liked this content, please give this video a like and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Until next time, take care.